1 month ago, I released a video. A video titled Wimpy Kid Movie Review 2021. That YouTube video has since become my #1 YouTube video on YouTube and has over 4,000 views currently. In that video, I said that if the video had 5 likes, then I would make a video where I would rank all 16 Wimpy Kid movies. That video now has 22 likes. So, without further ado, it is time for me to rank all 16 Wimpy Kid movies. Guys, we are doing this after all this time. That was my biggest video, and I've been waiting for the books to come in through the library, reading the ones on my own, reading them all in order, and just reading them, checking them out, contemplating where I'm going to put them. I have come up with my list. This is going to be my first book review. Hopefully this gets a bunch of views. This might be my biggest video. It might not. We'll see. But anyway, now that we have 16, I think they could be categorized, the books, in 4 categories. So just so you know, if you look at this, category 1 here is going to be the originals. This is going to be 1, Rodrick Rules, Last Straw, and Dog Days. And the second one, I think Jeff Kinney, he was just sort of slightly trying out stuff, seeing, Greg evolve, sort of, with Ugly Truth, Cabin Fever, Third Wheel, Hard Luck. And then, we have I would say, Getaway, sort of, this Getaway, moving, sort of like, Greg is going places, with Long Haul going on a road trip, with Old School going to camp, with Double Down just going nowhere, but still, and then Getaway. And then the final phase, I think, right here, phase 4, I call it, is just these big situations where they have just one big theme. And you have the meltdown, snow, you have the wrecking ball, the home-changing thing, you have the deep end, sort of like summer, road trip, RV trip, and then you have the newest one, the big shot, which is all focused on sports. So, anyway, what is my ranking going to be? Leave yours down below. And let's get started. So coming in last place here, in 16th place, the worst Wimpy Kid movie is Double Down. Now, when you first read it, if you check it out, like, Greg basically is talking for the first 80 minutes. He's just talking about weird stuff like aliens, his books at his school, his past, and these stupid ideas that is he actually being recorded on camera? And it is just so stupid that, and then when the actual plot gets going on, it's weird with this kid and Greg trying to learn how to play instruments, and then, like, him and Rory go to a party, and then it's ruined by his mom, and then you have the Nightcrawler thing. The entire book is horrible. I don't even know how this is a Wimpy Kid book. It's so weird for the first half, and then the other parts just have nothing. There's nothing good about this new movie. This book. There's nothing really charming about it. I don't like any new characters, and the old ones are still there. So I just don't like this book that much. 15th place is gonna be The Third Wheel. This is Jeff Kinney's his try for a romance. So Greg has prom and he's trying to get a date, and that it's too awkward for me. Like, the first parts, Uncle Gary moves in, which I think is cool. Him and Rory are doing some stuff. And then you get into school, and he's trying to find a girl. And that just doesn't work for Greg, because he's trying to understand girls, but it just doesn't work for me, because every time that he tries and epically fails, it just feels so cringy. It doesn't seem, like, charming like the originals were. It just seems very cringeworthy is my thing that I would say for it. I don't know what he was really going for. And even when he gets on the date and Rowley gets the girl and everything with chicken pox, I just didn't like it. This book was just so hard to read, and it's one of the, like, I own 4, and I don't think any of my top 5 I actually own, which sucks, but this one I own, and I also own Double Down, so that sucks. Anyway, 14th place is The Ugly Truth. Now, I find this to be, like, meh. It's an okay one. It has some cool stuff in it, some interesting stuff with the maid, but it's another one of those where it just sort of, it doesn't do a bunch. It's sort of annoying at times for Greg and stuff, and just they go to the lock-in and all that, and that could be slightly fun. But the rest of it, there isn't a whole bunch that I 100% like with this. And Rowley is getting a big head, and like me, that's just Rowley isn't supposed to be like that. He's supposed to be dumb. He's supposed to be stupid, but also slightly charming and a little kiddish. But right now, he's just trying to grow up, and he's just so stupid in this. Let me see, what place is this? So in unlucky number 13th place is the newest one, The Big Shot. For the new books, I think this is Jeff Kinney's worst that he's done in a while. The book, it's about sports, and I feel like there's a ton of great potential here. You have this band of, like, misfits that we've seen from other books, like the kid from Old School that got bit by the other kid, and then you have Rudy, and then you have all this really cool potential, but when the actual sports start happening, their team is horrible, nothing really happens, and then they're competing for worst in the year, which might sort of push it up a bit, and how it ends with Greg just scoring the point and making his team, he was playing on the other team, the worst team in the entire state. That is funny. But the rest of it, I don't find it as charming as I was hoping it would be. I thought it could be cool, but just if you think about it, Greg isn't an athletic person, and just turning him into one doesn't 100% work for this book. Another thing that's sort of weird for me is Rowley is not in this book at all. I don't know what happened. Some books I couldn't reread, but I didn't reread, what was it, The Deep End. So I don't really know what happened to Rowley. He is not in this book. And just, I don't 100% need Rowley and everyone, but there's best friends. Why are they not hanging out anymore? Anyway, 12th place is Hard Luck. I think this is just a pretty rereadable one that is pretty charming and fun, but also has, like, Rowley and going out with a girl, and you see Rowley get the big head, and then you see him fall, and they become best friends again. And I like that part to it. It's fun. I like how it ends with him and Rowley just running away, and it's about his friends, not his family. And just the whole thing with the 8 ball's okay, I think. I'm trying to find new friends with Fregley. It's got good ideas and bad ideas in it, is the best way to say. So this is sort of like the middle section here. You know, we're just getting right in there to sort of like, these books are okay for me. 11th place is the original Wimpy Kid book. Now I've probably read this book over 20 times. Probably, if I had to guess, around 40 times I've probably read this book. I've read this book so many times, and it's still pretty charming and fun. It's just the original, getting introduced to all the characters, so it's just really nice. But the thing is, there's another problem with that, because, it's in 11th place. You're like, why is this? It's the original. And then the problem is, I've seen it way too many times. They have a live action form. They have the new one that came out this year. I read it the most times. So after rereading it so many times, like usually if the new one comes out and I really like it, then I reread it like, 10, 15 times. But I read this one so many times that I have it memorized almost. So it's still really good, and it's a great introduction, but I know what it is, and it's like, oh yeah, this again, okay, sure. It's sort of like if you have ice cream every single day, ice cream isn't as good, and it's one of the ones that I own, so it's always available on my shelf. So it might have been higher if it just come out this year, but still, it's sort of worn down on me. I've gotten a bit tired of it. 10th place here, we have The Last Straw. This is the other sort of original phase of Wimpy Kid books that's sort of in the middle. I think it's okay. I think it's better than the original, probably unpopular opinion. But it's nice. This is one of the few ones that I had to remember from memory, because I couldn't get it from the library, and it would just take too long. So I decided, hey, I'm just gonna sort of wing it and remember what I can. And I do remember these. I've read them within a month usually. So I'm not gonna have a ton to say about this, but it's just sort of like one of those in the middle ones. Because it is. And then just the jokes, everything, it's fun. And how it goes. I like it. And then in ninth place is gonna be Old School when he goes to camp. This one, I think when he gets to camp, it's really good and funny, and you have sort of this team. And I go to camp like every single year, and it's nice. This is actually what camp is, sort of a thing. But before that, you have him doing weird stuff like making lemonade with Rowley and the no electronics day. So mixed bag, but overall, I actually like it a good deal. Let me think. What is this? This is eighth place. The Long Haul. Now, if we're talking about the movie, it's very, very low. It's not as bad as Double Down, but the Long Haul book is actually really good. I like it. It's the first sort of Jeff Kinney's, where Greg goes on a road trip sort of thing, and for that, I think it's probably the worst, but it's still pretty good. I like it. Adds some fun parts to it, and just the road trip. My family goes on what is it? I think it's like a 25-hour or more road trip every single year. We go all the way down to South Carolina, and we don't stop. We don't stop. So I can relate with this book so much, and it seems like something that my family would do. So, I like it. It's fun. And then seventh place, we have a newer one, The Wrecking Ball. Is this like the newer? Yeah, this is one of the newer ones, the fourth phase of Jeff Kinney's Diary Wimpy Kid. I like this. I felt like if they had just ended Diary Wimpy Kid right here, I would feel satisfied. I would feel sad that there wasn't more, but I would feel satisfied. But how it goes, I really had more fun with it on, like, reading it for the third time or whatever, because it has the fun stuff of them trying to figure out what they're going to do with the money. And then you also have the animals coming in. Manny building his house has always been sort of like, plot line to me, but I'm fine with it. Just the fun stuff with them sort of trying to move away. Like, could this be the end of Greg and Rowley? Could this? And they don't do it in the end, and I'm happy that they didn't end it like that. But just the funnest part of this is when they all have to leave, and they are destroying everything, and then the guy with the hot tub drops it through their house almost and just misses Rodrick, and so they're staying. And it's just such chaos that it makes sense with everything that's set up. Like the guy from the other street picking up the stuff off the garbage. This one probably should be higher, but I'm thinking this will age better and better. The more I read it, the higher it goes. Sixth place here, not 100% making it to the top 5, is Dog Days. Another one from the original phase that it's my favorite movie adaptation, but for this, it's just a nice summer story. You see Greg trying to do the stuff that, like, I would usually do as a kid, trying to mow lawns, and then his mom trying to set him up with new friends, and it's one of those sort of more generic ones that it doesn't have a huge thing that stands out. Like, even they get a dog, but that's not, like, the main focus. Like, if you see the newer versions by Jeff Kinney, then they are more focused. But this one is just a summer story. It's fun, and I like it, and it has payoff to some stuff that's been set up in the book, and it's just a really nice movie. Book. I keep saying movie, but book. Fifth place here, making it into the top 5. The best of the original trilogy, the original phase, Rodrick Rules. Rodrick Rules. Rodrick is probably... Greg used to be my favorite character because I related more to Greg, but as I've progressed and become a high schooler myself, I have become more relatable to Rodrick. It's been 5 years that I've been reading these books, and it's cool to see how I progress. But Rodrick Rules, it seems like something I would do. Rodrick is me is Rodrick. Not 100%, but still just Rodrick in this being the main focus, and then also having a bunch of other stuff with their grandfather and all this going on. And then it does have the big banger, the party. It works, and it ends with Greg helping his brother, and it's just a nice brother story. I got 2 brothers. I always wanted brothers for, like, let me think, like 8 years, and then I got 2 little brothers, and so the brother thing, we bicker, we fight, but we're always there for each other, so that's nice. Fourth place here is The Getaway, the other road trip movie, the middle road trip movie that, when this one came out, this was right after Double Down, and I was like, yeah, I didn't know they were still coming out with them. Wait, when did this come out? This was like the new one that came to the shelves. Like, I wasn't there for Double Down, but at my library, like, Getaway came to the shelves, and I'm like, wow, they came out with a new one. And I read it, and it was like, wow, this is the best. And then, of course, as I've read the other ones, I'm like, this goes lower and lower. But still, The Getaway. A great vacation one because I had another special vacation once. Instead of going to South Carolina for every year, we flew to Florida. So I could relate with The Getaway, just doing that. Going to Florida, it's another relatable. Getting there, almost not making it for time, getting your charger in at the airports, and then when they actually get to the place, the jokes and everything, he's in a different environment, Greg is, so there's a bunch of different jokes that you could do. The animals are really cool. Just everything that they do. It seems very vacation-y. So it's just a really great book. So before we get into these top 3, leave your comment down below. And I don't know if there's another Wimpy Kid ranking I could do. I don't think there is, but just leave a like and comment down below a video that you'd like me to do, because I'm pretty open for suggestions right now. January's a slow month, so Happy New Year. And third place is Cabin Fever. Now, previous to the past 2 years, this would not be this high. But it has become immensely relatable. As for 2020 and 2021, we have been stuck indoors, mostly for 2020, but still for 2021. And not with a snowstorm, because there are snowstorms around here still. For me, there's snow on the ground outside, but because of COVID. But you know, just Cabin Fever, it's really fun when they get put in, when they're stuck in the house, they think they're dying, and then Manny's doing it. Manny turned off the heat. It's really fun to see Greg and Rowley make their own newspaper, and it's really fun, is this one. It has a bunch of memorable stuff, like the elf that's always spying on him, and the baby that's in this. It has a bunch, Alfredo, that's just his name. It just has a bunch of stuff in it. Them trying to make like an amusement park sort of a thing, and doing their newspaper. It's really memorable, and in this top 3, it's probably the one that I've read the most. I just read this one pretty constantly, you know, because the other 2 here are in the lower half in the phase 3 and phase 4, but this was the one from, wait, is this phase 2? Yeah, I think this is phase 2 that I really liked in my phases. But second place, The Meltdown. This is part of the phase 3? No, the phase 4. But The Meltdown, another snow one, where I just really liked it. The snow fight, the wars that they do, the epicness, and they're actually in a battle, actually fighting. This is just a really fun one. Like, you have this rivalry that's been going on since book 1, where they took the snowball where they threw snowballs at Greg and Rowley. This has been a rivalry that has been going on for decades. And the kids are over it, and there is going to be a war, and this book is the most epic one. You have fights, you have war, you have carnage with snowballs. It's just a really fun book. It's definitely not, like, it's just a fun one to see everything, and Greg and Rowley and these people from this neighborhood coming together, these kids, to battle. And just the most epic battle, and this was, like, my favorite for a long time, and it's very close between this and number 1, but number 1, at least for now, is going to be The Deep End. Who would have thought that the 15th Wimpy Kid book would be the best one? But yes, The Deep End. So, The Deep End, it's when they go on an RV trip, and they basically, since their house has been destroyed from the wrecking ball, Greg and his family go on a road trip with an RV, and it's just them going around so clueless and doing all this stuff, and just how they start off. They're living in their grandmother's apartment, in her basement, and then they go on an RV trip in Uncle Gary's RV, and they have an epic adventure, and it's just really fun. It's one of the few ones that I couldn't reread, along with The Meltdown, and also I couldn't reread The Getaway, but I'm solid. This is my top 3. Meltdown and Deep End might switch around a bit. I don't know. But I feel sort of disappointed I couldn't reread this one because it is my definitive favorite. And who would have thunk? Who would have thunk that this would have been first place, the 15th one? But this is sort of the problem for me with Disney Plus doing movies. I want to see a Cabin Fever one. I want to see a Meltdown one. I want to see a Deep End movie. I want to see a Getaway movie. Rodrick Rules has been seen, but I'm okay with seeing it again. But that's sort of what I'm feeling for those movies and shows. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. This is my ranking. You guys asked for this, so if you're not happy, you're not satisfied, then it's your fault. Unless you dislike. There's one person that disliked, so there's probably always going to be one person. But anyway, just thank you for watching. This might be my biggest video, and if it isn't, well, at least I fulfilled a promise. Leave a comment down below what kind of a video you want to see. We have a bunch of I'm open to do whatever because this is going to be a slow month with 4 movies coming out this month. Not a ton, but it's an okay amount. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you haven't read Wimpy Kid book series, you should probably check it out. It's okay. This is Max Reviews. I'm Brayden. Brayden out.